Today we're going to be working on a kneeling lymphatic flow. I've been bringing the lymphatic system information and movement into classes for some time now. The lymphatic system works to collect excess fluid and waste and germs and infection to help remove that, filter that from the body. And it works in a very specific way, kind of a specific pattern in one direction up toward the heart. So today we're going to move in that specific way to encourage drainage. We're going to do some deep breathing, and we'll play with going upside down with a down dog and three-legged dog. So all three of those things help to make the lymph move more efficiently. So in effect, it helps us to decongest the body and help to remove inflammation more efficiently. And inflammation is the root cause of our dis-ease and disease. So kind of see why I've been bringing this into classes. It's a very, very relevant topic for all of us and to really bolster our immune systems. So we're gonna be kneeling a majority of the time. We'll take little breaks here and there. So starting on hands and knees. Just make sure that you root down through all of the fingers, the knuckles. And you're just gonna start with some head rolls. And while you're doing this, deep breaths. Straighten through the elbows. And now I'd like you to add on hip circles. And then we're going to challenge the body, and you're going to go the opposite direction. The head can do it, the hips at the same time. It's a little different. So it doesn't matter. Just move. Just breathe. Take one more deep breath here. Okay. And then come back to center. All right. So we're going to start to get some moving and some pumping action through the armpits, the shoulders. And then, so that's primary. And then secondary is our hips and knees. So widen your table a little bit. Bring those hands forward. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, shift back toward child's pose. But I don't actually want you to move your hands. So I want you to get a good stretch, well, a mild stretch through the sides, through the armpits. And then inhale, you come back up. And exhale, you move back. So this pumping action is stimulating the lymph nodes that live in our armpits. But we're going to do lots of these, so of course you're going to feel, but I'm bending at my hips, we're getting movement in the knees. So in effect, stimulating the lymph nodes through the main joints here. And that's where you can think about where a lot of our lymph nodes reside, the big joints of the body. Let's do 2 or 3 more. Inhale, table. And exhale, back. Again, we're moving toward child's pose, not in child's pose necessarily. And one more. So the lymph moves very slowly. So we move slowly with the breath. Okay. So now I'm gonna say some leg kicks, but let's narrow up that table once again. Okay. So what we're gonna do is on an inhale, we're gonna send, let's say, the left leg back, and then on your exhale, you're gonna hug it underneath, or just kind of send it underneath. But we're not doing the rounding, trying to get the knee to the nose. We're squeezing at the hip crease where we've got lymph nodes in that hip crease. So inhale, leg out. Exhale, hug it in. So moving slowly with the breath. Slow down the breath, which then will inevitably slow down the movement. And you can kind of get this squeezing effect as you're hugging in. Now, as you're here, you've got to firm up your waist. You're squeezing everything in so that you're not dipping your middle, staying strong through the abdominals and the back muscles. We're going to do 2 or 3 more. Last one. Inhale the leg out and exhale the leg down. And then before we do the second side, just kind of wiggle out the hips a little bit. Okay, so let's do the second side. On your inhale, right leg goes back. And, try to think straight out, depending on how your cameras are set up. We're not looking for a lot of height here. And then exhale, hug it in without rounding the spine or pushing the floor away. Inhale, leg goes back. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale back. Exhale, squeeze under. 2 more. Okay, and then we're going to lower that leg down. Now, we're going to continue there in just a moment, but let's take a break off of those wrists. So walk your fingers or your hands forward. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Move back toward child's pose. Don't let your hands move just yet. Get this traction through the sides of the body, through the spine. And then on your next exhale, then you can go ahead and soften back. Of course, if this is okay for your knees and your ankles. And then stack your hands and rest your forehead, even if you don't need it. Give yourself a little space here, and we'll take 2 or 3 more breaths. Okay. All right, let's come back to table. So now we're going to do a traditional balancing table. So, but the same idea applies. We're not looking to like round and get the elbow and the knee to meet underneath the body. Want you to keep your spine relatively neutral. So inhale, left arm, right leg back or out. And then exhale, just bring both underneath the body, but you're not trying to cross. Inhale, open. Exhale, underneath. One more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. So we're getting the pumping. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. We're getting the pumping at the armpit and at the hip crease. Let's do the other side. Inhale, right arm, left leg out. Exhale, little underneath the body. 2 more. Inhale, open. Inhale, under. Inhale, open. Exhale, under. Inhale, open. And exhale, down. Okay. Again, just roll it out. Do a couple of head circles. So the idea is to stimulate these main lymph nodes, but then we always have to come back to the area of the neck and the collarbones. It's the main drainage. Everything's coming up there and then making its way to the heart. Okay, so why don't we get some traditional spinal waves here, and then we'll move into some twists. So on your inhale, a little sticking out of the butt, dropping of the belly, lifting the head up. And exhale, round, soften, and chin to chest. Inhale, stick the butt out, drop the belly, drop the heart, lift the head. And exhale, round, tuck and push the floor away. And do one more. Okay, and come back to center. All right, so we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to inhale the left arm up first. And on the exhale, just halfway, you're going to twist to the right. Inhale, open to the left. Exhale, twist to the right. So we keep going. You've got really deeper lymph nodes here in the belly and in all through the digestive tract. So this is a really good thing to do to help with digestion, constipation. All right, this will be our last one, and we're going to stay in the twist. So it's morning time. If your spine is not ready to fully twist and rest on the left side of your temple, don't push it. Just kind of stay halfway up here with your left forearm resting on the floor. Just move my mic up a little bit so hopefully we'll see how this works. Now, depending on your positioning here, you might be slightly upside down if your head is on the floor. So we get this mild inverting action so that all the movement you've been doing with the legs drains into your inner thighs and makes its way up your torso through something that's called the thoracic duct into the area of the collarbones. Two more breaths here. Very slowly use your right arm to press yourself up. Come back to table and pause. So we do the deep breathing because, we all know that deep breathing is helpful for us. But with regard to lymphatic flow, the muscular contraction of the deep breathing helps to bring that lymph up the thoracic duct into the lymph nodes below the collarbones. Okay, so now let's twist to the right to begin. So inhale, right arm up. Exhale, halfway to the left. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, over. Let's do two more like that. Okay, and then let's do the third one and then we stay. And again, depending on your spine, do not force. You can stay halfway up here. And because if you look at me, that doesn't crane your neck too much, I'm halfway down. My head is still below my heart, so I'm still getting the inverting benefits. So I just say that because, I don't want you to think you need to force your spine to get to a deeper twist on the floor. So whatever position you're in, deep breaths here. And I'll offer in this position, but really anything we ever do in class, maybe anything you're doing on your own. If the pose is obstructing the breath and making it difficult to breathe, and I'll say yoga, not like cardio, back off. The breath should be free and clear. But I say this especially in a twist where the breath could get caught because we've come into a twist too deeply. We're going to take one more breath here. Very slowly use your left arm to press yourself up, then get the right one to help. Okay. Just make your way back to table. Again, just kind of slither it out, moving the hips and the shoulders left and right a little differently than our spinal waves. The spinal waves in the other direction. Okay. So now we're going to play with moving in and out of table to down dog. So working a little bit more of pumping through shoulders, hips, and knees, but then also getting more of that inverting flavor. So widen up your table. Stay tucked on your toes the whole time. We get a little movement through the feet. All right, and then take a deep breath in. And then exhale, push yourself up and then back. Push the floor away. And then on your inhale, I want you to rise up onto like the knuckles of the toes and then bring your knees toward the floor really slowly so we get that good stretch for the feet. Okay. And then we'll start, we'll move more with the breath here. And now on your exhale, push up and back. Push the floor away. Get the stretch through the armpits, through the sides of the body. And inhale, pull forward or peel forward. Slowly lower the knees. Exhale, lift up and back. Inhale, come forward, softly landing. All right, so let's do several more with your own breath at your own pace. So we're going to do 2 more in and out, and we're going to hold down dog on the 3rd. Okay. All right, and then on this 3rd one, go ahead and stay in your dog. And now you can play around, walk it out, all while pushing the floor away. Okay, so you can maybe see or, notice that this is only half of an inversion because now we need to get a leg above our hips. So we're going to do 3-legged dog and add a little twist in the mix. So bend the knees a little bit because I want you to keep pushing the floor away. That's important here. So the weight isn't going into your shoulders and arms completely. Now inhale, lift the right leg up. Okay, so now we've got kind of the full variation or full inversion here on this one side. Now bend your right knee and bring your right hip on top of the left a little bit more. Notice how that drops your left shoulder. The right shoulder goes up. Try to square the shoulders a little bit. And then come back to the breath. This should be a little more challenging. Let's take one more breath here. You can do this. Okay, come out of the twist. Straighten the leg. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. Lower the leg. Walk it out. Lower slowly onto your knees. And go back toward child's pose. And then stack your fists. And take 2 breaths here. Okay. Almost done. So set yourself up, wider table, tuck onto those toes, take a deep breath in. Exhale, come back to dog. Push the floor away, bend the knees a little bit. Right, just about 5 more breaths. Inhale, left leg up. And then bend the knee. Get that left hip on top of the right just a little. We don't have to go with total stacking here. And then notice how when you do that, the shoulders now come off center a little bit. I want you, let's tuck my shirt in here. I want you to try to lift up your right armpit, right shoulder. Now through the effort, push the floor away. It's going to shift weight back. And if that means you need to bend your right knee, so what?
Okay, come out of the twist, straighten the left knee, but take a deep breath in. Remember, bringing all of that lymph fluid up. Let's exhale, lower that leg. Walk it out. Okay, and then slowly come down onto your knees. Right. Now we end how we began with head circles. So we get that fluid up in the neck, stimulating the lymph nodes right beneath the collarbones. Let's switch directions. And then start to bring the hips into it too. Okay. All right. Now, I want to come in just to quickly or briefly a seated position. Okay. And just kind of massage out the wrists. All right. So for Shavasana, we're going to keep the knees bent. I want you to take your blanket, open it up like this, and then fold it in half so it's really long. And then you're going to put it over your knees so that when you lay down, and then one thing I do almost all the time now, grab the flesh of your buns, pick up the hips a little, and slide your buns towards your heels. And then when you lower your hips back down, that smooths out the low back. Okay, and then walk your feet wide, turn your feet slightly inward, and maybe walk your feet away from you a little bit just to open up the knees. And then you have this weight on the legs. And we're going to take several deep breaths here before we, move into silence for Shavasana. Once again, encouraging the lymph from the lower body to make its way up the torso. So if you can, making sure it's relatively effortless for you, inhale and exhale to the count of 5. Two more breaths like that. And then if you can, a few breaths to the count of 6. If you can, if it feels like a stretch, do not worry about it. Stick with 5. But as you exhale, really try to pull the navel back to the spine so that it gets rid of all of that air, which will help to result in a bigger inhale. And feel as if you're filling up your belly, your ribs, and your chest. Remember, your lungs go all the way up to the collarbones. They go that high. So we do want to breathe into that area. We want to breathe into all of the areas. Just one more breath cycle like that. And at the end of this exhale, release the effort of counting your breath. Release the effort, of lengthening your breath. And feel the back of your body resting against the floor. Feel the feet becoming heavy. Your buttocks, your sacrum, and your low back. Feel the heaviness of your upper back and your shoulders and the backs of your arms. And lastly, the back of your head. Each area supported. And from that support, the ability to become heavier and heavier. And we'll rest here for about 1 more minute in silence. Shavasana. Please take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Bring your arms overhead. Take a big stretch. And then walk your feet together and come onto your side. And then press yourself up. And what I'd like you to do is fold your blanket. That is, if sitting on the floor is comfortable for you. If you want to sit in a chair, we'll just be here for about 2 minutes. So, sitting after having moved for 28 minutes, noticing the comfort or where you feel more comfort in your body, noticing the quality of your breath, the quality of your mind and mood. And feeling into all of these things, all of these feelings or these sensations, taking in your entire being. And wherever your awareness naturally rests, let it rest there. And then when you feel life or a thought taking you out of this restful place of your being, begin to sway your spine as if you were a blade of grass in the breeze until you feel once again full of your energy of your being and you can rest in stillness. And when a distraction comes your way, sway your spine. So that's the practice, just for the next minute and a half.
Okay, please take a deep breath in and a smooth breath out. Place your left hand over your heart, a slight bow to your head. Thankful for this time to move, to breathe, to bring something new, or maybe if it's not new, just something helpful, something motivational with regard to this lymphatic system and lymphatic flow. But thank you for your time and thank you for your practice.